in his garden. It didn't matter what time of year it was. In winter, he would tidy up the garden, pick the weeds and start to plan what he wanted to plant ready for spring. In springtime, he would love to watch as the daffodils came into bloom, the crocuses, and watch the new buds form on the trees. This year, Stan decided to grow some fruits and vegetables. He chose tomatoes, cucumbers, onions, carrots, lettuces, and strawberries too. He made some raised beds in the garden to stop the slugs and snails from eating all of his plants. It was a lovely sunny morning, and Stan's grandson Toby had come over for the day. "Hi, Grandad," said Toby as he walked into the greenhouse. "Oh, hi, Toby. Do you want to help me plant some fruits and vegetables?" asked Stan. "Oh, yes, please, Grandad," replied Toby. Stan had put some trays out ready to plant the seeds with a huge bag of seed compost. Toby helped fill the trays. When they got to the last one, Stan heard Ellie, his wife, calling him. "I've made a cup of tea for you both," she shouted. "I'll just go and get our drink," said Stan. While his granddad was in the house, Toby thought he would be helpful and fill the last tray. On the shelf above him, Toby spotted many tubs and bottles. Suddenly, one of them caught his eye. "Miracle Grow, super concentrated," the bottle read. "Oh, I wonder what will happen if I add this to the compost. Grandad will win the competition at the spring fair this year," said Toby out loud. Without a second thought, Toby poured quite a substantial amount into the last tray of compost and mixed it all together with his trowel. Grandad came back with the hot drinks, and they decided which seeds they would plant in each tray. Toby picked up the tomato seeds. He made little holes in the compost with a pencil and spaced out each of the holes. He then put one seed in each hole and covered it over with more compost. This was the tray that Toby had added the Miracle Grow to. They planted the onions, carrots, cucumbers, lettuces and strawberries too. Toby labelled each of the trays and thought to himself, "I wish the tomatoes to grow so big that they will be the biggest anyone has ever seen." Little did Toby know that this particular brand of Miracle Grow was used on farmers' fields to grow the largest corn ever. It had been given to Grandad as a gift years ago, but he had forgotten about it. Toby and Stan watered the seeds. They placed them on shelves in the greenhouse and went into the house to have some lunch. Later that afternoon, Toby went outside, and what he saw he could not believe. The tray filled with tomato seed had grown so big the plant was now towering to the ceiling of the greenhouse, and the leaves of the plant were poking out of the open windows. "Grandad, come here quick," shouted Toby. Stan ran to see what was going on. "Oh, I used Miracle Grow on the tomatoes as a surprise. I thought it would help you win the competition at the spring fair," said Toby. "Oh, goodness me, I knew it was strong stuff, but I've never seen a plant grow this quickly before," said Stan in astonishment. Stan, Ellie and Toby picked up the tray. It was so heavy, and what was even more incredible was that the tomatoes had started growing too. Stan had a huge container of compost which he placed in the middle of the garden. "We'll have to plant them in here," said Stan. They transferred the tomato plant into the container just in time. As they looked up, the plant grew and grew, and it was so high now, and the tomatoes were growing even bigger. They were the size of footballs, then the size of large pumpkins, and continued to expand. "Oh, we need it to stop growing or it will get so huge we won't be able to move in the garden. The tomatoes will be so heavy nothing will move them," said Stan. He grabbed his phone and rang Farmer Phil, who had given him the Miracle Grow as a gift. "Oh my goodness, Stan, that's strong stuff," said Farmer Phil. The plant was extremely tall now. It could be seen for miles around. Stan sent Farmer Phil a photo. "Well, you've got to dilute the mixture. Pour loads of fresh compost and drain it with water. That will flush the Miracle Grow out," said Farmer Phil. Toby, Stan and Ellie all began digging. Then Stan put the hose pipe on and flooded the plant with water. Toby and Ellie added the new fresh compost without the Miracle Grow. As they looked up, they took a deep breath. With a sigh of relief, they could see that the plant had finally stopped growing. It had filled the whole garden now, and the three of them were now squashed between the tomatoes. Farmer Phil arranged for a huge crane to come and lift the plant and take it to his farm. By now, the whole neighbourhood was out. Even the local reporter had come to take pictures and film the event for the regional news. "What a whopper of a plant," said Stan. "They'll be talking about this for years." "Well, this was the best day ever," shouted Toby. Farmer Phil found a lovely spot for the plant in one of his fields. The tomatoes tasted so delicious that he and his wife made tomato soup and gave it as a gift to everyone in town. As for Toby, he decided to put a huge label on the Miracle Grow. "Danger makes giant plants." Stan decided to keep the bottle somewhere safe. He put it in his shed and locked it away so it could not cause any more giant growth. At the spring fair, the video of the giant tomato plant was shown on a big screen. Stan won a special award for the world's largest tomato plant that had ever been grown. So, was it the Miracle Grow, or was it Toby's wish that made this happen? I guess we'll never really know, so always be mindful of what you wish for, as it may just come true. So that's my story about the giant tomato. I really hope you've enjoyed it today, and I can't wait to tell you more again soon.